Good morning, Horn Lake High School. Lewis here with
Trent.
Oh, sorry, I hit you in the face with a microphone. We are here today to talk about, there's a meteor that's heading for Earth, barreling towards Earth, expected to strike the day before the presidential election.
I really don't even know what you want me to say.
He doesn't know very much about it. Basically, and you're going to hear about it on the show today, Sarah will inform us what's going on. But I think it's the size of a refrigerator, and of course, most of it is expected to burn up in the atmosphere.
Most or all. Because to be fair, that's big, don't get me wrong. But it's going to be going through Earth's atmosphere, so I think it's going to completely burn up. I mean, if it even is.
Yeah, the Earth has multiple meteors that strike it all the time, and most of them burn up in the atmosphere. But it's still, it's still a large item that's heading straight for us. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, also,
well, to be fair, we are a bit larger item. Whether it hits or not, most of it should be okay.
All right, most of us should be okay. We still have the ant farm. Several of y'all have asked about it because we haven't talked about the ants much lately. And the cast decided to go out. Well, I asked the cast to go out yesterday to find some insects because we had not been feeding our ant farm protein. And ants need, three things. They need like some vegetables, they need protein, and then they need sugar and obviously water. So we put a little sugar water in there and we give them some vegetables, but we had not been giving them any protein. So the cast went and found some protein yesterday. What'd y'all go do?
We caught I think it was 5 crickets and a roly-poly.
And then you dump them into the tank to watch what happens.
We dumped the roly-poly, which was still alive, and one dead cricket in.
All right, and the roly-poly is apparently still managing. I guess he rolls up to protect himself whenever the ants get near him.
Yeah, yesterday, that's all he was doing. I mean, there would be 3 ants on him at a time, and he would just be in a ball.
Okay, but they did take the cricket apart.
I haven't checked on it today, but they were going ham on it when I would put it in there. So.
Yeah, the cricket's gone. The cricket's in multiple pieces, and then I believe they buried him in the outworld so that he can start to decompose, because ants have to have the protein to decompose so that they can actually ingest it. That's interesting, isn't it? I gave a cricket to the ant farm at the house, and my children Riley thought it was really cool. My wife was horrified and said it was absolutely 100% disgusting. Disgusting.
So yesterday I told my mom that we went and got the cricket and the roly-poly. I told her, I was like, I dropped the roly-poly while it was still alive in the ant farm, and she looked at me with the biggest eyes and said, "You're an awful person."
Well, we're just feeding the ants. I mean, right. It's either the ants or the roly-poly, and we have an ant farm. I mean, it's our duty to take care of the ants. Right. So
yeah. Welcome. Yeah. Cutaways. Mike LV. I ain't got no time. 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 I ain't got no. Boy ain't looking at the clock. Stepped up in the game like rock. Ball boy with the hook, can't stop. Like the dread on my head, stay locked. Look, always, no island. Stay fly, no pilot. All beef, no diet. Real G, stay silent. I'm all for the mission to pray for the tension because the best of us come with complacency issues and then I'm chosen to high
for Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. I'm Sarah, and today's top story highlights the asteroid passing Earth the day before the election. The dangerous asteroid dubbed 2018 VP1 has a 0.41% chance of crossing paths with Earth. It should not hit Earth, but if it were to hit Earth, the asteroid would burn up in the upper part of the atmosphere. We will be fine. In fact, an asteroid about 10 to 20 feet across passed Earth on August 16th without incident. Yesterday we featured our Teacher of the Month, Mrs. Clark. Today we're going to feature our virtual Teacher of the Month, Mr. Hoffman.
Where did you grow up? I grew up in a little town in Connecticut called Jewett City. It's a borough of another larger town. It had a population of under 1,000 people.
Tell us about your family.
I am one of 6 kids. I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters. My youngest brother passed away in infancy, so 5 of us grew up together. I'm married. I have 4 children. And I'm about to adopt 2 more children, real young ones, so it's my family's about to grow again. And I've been married for a very long time.
Tell us about your years in high school.
My years in high school were, it was a tough time where I grew up, being such a small town and not a lot to do. Most of my friends were getting in trouble, and there was a lot of things happening in my community that were not good, so I put everything I had into school. I played baseball, basketball, football. I was in the band. I was in choir. I even did school plays. I did everything I could to keep myself out of trouble by staying in school. I did have a reputation of being a little bit of a troublemaker, but I always did good in school because that was what was going to save me from a life I didn't want.
What was a pivotal moment in your teenage years?
My teenage years, it was during middle of high school. Like I think I said earlier, things were happening in my community, and many of my friends around my age started disappearing, and the community put together a search team to go out and look for 2 girls that I went to school with, and we never found them, but the police ended up finding their killer later on. And it made such an impact on me that I decided I was going to devote my life to helping people. And I joined a local fire department and became through a cadet program, and I loved it. And I was a firefighter for the next 18 years.
What jobs did you have in high school?
High school, my jobs were, I was a waiter, I was a busboy, I was a dishwasher, I worked at a local convenience store. It was anything I could do to make a few extra dollars and help support my family.
What's the funniest thing you can think of that happened to you in high school?
I think it would have to be, I was always into theater, and I did a play, Grease, in fact. I took on one of the lead roles as Kinnicky, and it was a very small stage, and it was during dress rehearsals. I got real close to the edge of the stage and got really into dancing and fell right off the stage.
Tell us a little bit about your college experience.
College experience. I wanted to go to college right out of high school, and I had been accepted to go to Johnson & Wales to become a chef, but I didn't have the money. So I ended up going out and getting a job in the real world and trying to make a life, and I ended up getting married and having kids, and that led to a career. And I did not go to college until I was in my early 40s, and I chose to go to University of Mississippi, and I thought I was going to be something to do with science, and it's not where it led me.
How did you choose the college to attend?
I chose University of Mississippi because, well, they offered me the best chance financially to get back to school. I had done a couple of night classes at Northwest, and I saw something called the 2+2 program, and it interested me, and I signed up for it, and I got a lot of financial opportunities to go to University of Mississippi.
How did you choose your profession? Did you originally plan on being a teacher?
I didn't plan on being a teacher. Teaching found me. I had started, like I said, I think I was a science major, and I wanted to do something in the science field. And I had a teacher, one of my professors, pulled me aside one day and said, "You're a natural teacher. I watch how you help other students in class. You should look into teaching." And so I did. and I fell in love with it.
What's something outside of school that you're passionate about?
I love to cook. Love to cook, especially if it's outside on a grill. But I just love to cook. That was what I wanted to do right out of high school, was to become a chef. So that passion stayed. I just did not make a career of it.
Tell us something that you've always dreamed about doing. Something on your bucket list.
On my bucket list, I love to travel. I travel all over the place. I've been to many different countries and states and places. One place I've never been, but I want to go is, I want to go to Greece and check out the culture and, you know, see the Pantheon and all the other things that you read about in history books.
What's something that students may not know about you?
Something my students might not know about me is, for a time, I was a private investigator. I did a lot of private investigations and accident recreation, workman's comp claims, people who were trying to get over on the system. I did a lot of those type of investigations.
What's something you love about this school?
I know it probably sounds cliche, but I love the students. There's such a wide variety of personalities and backgrounds, but they're all wonderful. We all have our days and we all have our moments, but when push comes to shove, the relationship I've built with the students in this school, I wouldn't replace for anything.
It's now time for today's announcements. Pay attention, we're moving fast. Students, those of you who are virtual will have tutoring options available to you on Wednesday afternoons. Tutoring will be from 2:45 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. You must let your teachers know if you plan on attending the sessions via Schoology no later than 2 p.m. each Wednesday. Virtual tutoring will take place through the Teams app, allowing you to have live sessions with the teachers. Traditional students here in the building also have tutoring options available on Monday afternoons. Be sure to sign up at the cafeteria on Mondays during lunch if you plan on attending the sessions. You can also talk with your teachers if you're interested in signing up. Students, don't forget, if you have a pending COVID test, you should not attend school until you have the test results. Students who test positive should provide documentation to the school and follow state quarantine orders. If you have any questions, you should contact our school nurse, Mrs. Cross. That's it for today's episode here at Horn Lake. We are better students, always growing and expecting more. Stay tuned for your lunch menus and athletic schedules. We'll see you here tomorrow. Have a fantastic day.
I ain't got no time. I ain't got no time. Looking at the clock, stepped up in the game like rock. Ball boy with the hook, can't stop. Like the dread on my head, stay locked. Look, always no island. Stay fly, no pilot. All beef, no diet. Real G, stay silent. I'm all for the mission to pray for the tension, because the best of us come with complacency issues. And then the chosen and high cause replacing on picking the tissues. They thinking and crying and laughing and ain't for the miss you. I've been up like all night, working on the crab cause the sucker don't ball right. Then we about to swing cause we ain't about to fall. I'm living on my knees cause I know it ain't all I. Oh my God, never gonna stop. Think I'm finna go and change my legal name to Pops. Y'all a bunch of birds, I ain't even gotta fly. Looking for the beat, find a light up in the track. See it at the top, praise be the try. I ain't need to try, glory to God. Millie with the rock, Jordan with the house. Catch me at the Grove, 10:30 on the dot, boy. Yeah, time after time with the I've been roll out of line like I don't read the signs. I'm so done with the lies, that's why I ain't got no time. 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 I ain't got no. Grown man, how I'm moving with the rock. Y'all swine, how you moving with them ops. Self-made, how I be up in the shop. Stay paid, I don't care about the props. Praise God, change ways. Never been just about a payday. Glow up, then it turn into a melee. Coming down, so they hollering out, Mayday. Yeah, if you doing this for dollar signs, odds you are out of line. Yeah, pay attention to the product line before that is modified. Yeah, eyes up on the bottom line before you are out of time. Yeah, out of body moving me so